Mayor.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
We are ready, Mr. Mayor.
All righty. Today is Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023. It is now 7:30 p.m. This is a regular city commission meeting of the city of West Miami. This meeting is called to order. Please rise for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance.
Let's bow our heads tonight and pray to our Lord and pray for peace and ask Him to bless our city with an abundance of that much peace that we need as a community. Tonight, we also pray for our elected officials, our elected leaders in Tallahassee, so that they're able to conclude a productive session for the greater good of our state, our counties, and our cities. We pray for those that are ill and fragile so that they can find comfort. We pray for the fallen law enforcement officers during the month of May, where their lives are celebrated for giving of their life and their family's life to serve the community. Our prayer extends this evening to all our military personnel, especially during this month of May, as we celebrate our military forces throughout the month. We also pray for our first responders so that they can stay safe and return homes and out of harm's way. And we ask this in your name, Lord. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Yes, item 3, roll call. Mayor Eric Diaz-Padrón.
Here.
Vice Mayor Juan Blanes. Commissioner Candida Blanca. Commissioner Ivan Chavez Jr.
Here.
Commissioner Luciano Suarez.
Yes.
Mayor, you have quorum.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for April 19, 2023, regular commission meeting.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, we need a motion on that, don't we?
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item 5, public comments. None
Anyone
this
for public comments? Seeing none. Next item.
Item 6, report of the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a verbal report this evening. The first item on that report is the Alliance for Aging sent a letter addressed to the mayor regarding the 2022 monitoring inspection of our program of the West Miami Community Center. The letter actually outlines all the areas that were tested, and the Alliance found some deficiencies, and we're working on the responses. This is last year's audit. We had a meeting on Monday, a Zoom meeting on Monday, where the staff next door at the community center participated, our office, finance, and so we were engaged and very responsive to the areas that we need to work on some corrections. We are continuing to work with Evelyn and her team to address those deficiencies. Mr. Mayor, I'm going to send a courtesy notice letter to the commission so that they understand that we're working on, it's going to be a big report that we have to prepare for them, and make some adjustments in some of the categories that they have tested. So we hope to complete that before my last day, and so that Evelyn can move forward. We did start the process now for the 2023 monitoring this last Monday. So I'm hoping that we can clear out all of the deficiencies that were noted. These are contractual deficiencies that are guided by Department of Elder Affairs standards. And it's a difficult process. It's a difficult program and a difficult grant to administer. But I don't think that there's anything there that we cannot work from and build up on it and do better for this year's. So you may have already seen that letter. So we're working on that. The next item I wanted to report on is that the auditors advised me that they were not able to present tonight but they are coming to the May 17th meeting, so that will be, the presentation will be on your agenda at the time for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2022. And the next item is, a few days ago, about a week ago, we sent out a calendar for the ribbon cutting, if you would, of the Little Library project sponsored by Commissioner Chavez. I haven't received any RSVPs on that, and Commissioner Chavez would like to invite the schools so that they can send a delegation of students to take part on this, and so we need a couple of days to plan, and I wanted to make sure that the schedule met with everyone's approval. I believe that you mentioned, Commissioner Chavez, as well, that you wanted to invite school board member Monica Colucci to the event, and we wanted to give, or you wanted to gift, 2 little library stands to both schools, the Sylvania Heights Elementary and Somerset Gables Academy. So if that is correct, and if you can check your calendars, we'd like to proceed with the, assist with the preparations.
Well, I know, Commissioner, you're on a timeline because of your trip. So, I mean, frankly, whoever can make it makes it. It's your initiative. It's not, a massive city project. So, I think move forward, and we'll check our schedules as we can, and hopefully can be there. If not, let's get that going.
Okay, great. Thank you, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 7, report of the city attorney.
Mr. Mayor, in consultation with Dr. Ned, I drafted a resolution in order to link the commission acting as a local planning agency and recommendations that the local planning agency had made to the commission. This resolution is not in the agenda, so I would suggest that there's a motion to be approved by 4/5 vote to include this in the agenda, and I'll read the heading of the resolution. The resolution of the Mayor and City Commissioner of the City of West Miami, Florida, accepting the recommendation of the local planning agency, LPA, to amend the City of West Miami Comprehensive Plan, providing for an enactment of property rights element with goals, objectives, and policies, providing for legislative findings and intent, providing for severability, providing for effective date. And I'll share that with the clerk in order to, there's a couple of amendments that I want to make to the recommendation, which is
Mr. Villalobos, the heading should be the year-based amendment.
year-based amendment. That's what I said that I was going to change out.
Okay.
So I would suggest that the mayor request a motion to,
Yeah, let's get a motion to amend the agenda to include this item.
Motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Seeing none, we'll add this item to the agenda for tonight. Madam Clerk.
Duly noted. So, would you like me to include this item as?
You can add it prior to discussion on 4th of July between items F and G.
Okay, okay, Mr. Mayor. Added. Should I proceed with the next item?
Mr. Attorney, is your report concluded? Mr. Attorney,
Mr. Attorney?
is that your report?
no, there's no report by the city.
Okay. Next item?
Item 8, report of the city engineer.
I have no report this evening, but as always, can take questions on ongoing projects if there's any outstanding issues.
I've been seeing some communication regarding the ILA. What's the status on that?
So we submitted a draft ILA to the county. We have to prepare an additional exhibit to the ILA. The actual language was fine to the county. So we'll move ahead with having the city attorney at least look at the language portion of it. And then we're working on adding some detail that they needed on the exhibit, and then we'll be ready to go.
Perfect, thank you. Does anyone have any other questions for the engineer?
Mr. Mayor, since he's here, if he could give a brief report on the potable water and the next phase that we're working with the funding that you all secured from Tallahassee.
Go ahead.
So we're about 90% complete with the phase 2 construction drawings. So we're hoping to go out to bid for that here soon. Phase 3, we have not started yet on design. We're wrapping up 2, and then we'll roll into 3. So hopefully certainly by the time we're done with Phase 2, we'll be ready to go on Phase 3. I think we're still not 100% on how the monies are dispersed, so we have to discuss that before we go out to bid for Phase 2, so that we're clear on what the funding source is for that phase. But the work is progressing. We've had a little bit of a delay on Phase 1B due to some material shortage on some pipe that was supposed to get here last month, and then we still haven't received it. So unfortunately, we haven't been able to finish the project. Not of anyone's fault. We just haven't really been able to secure the piping that was ordered. So that should be coming in soon. As soon as that's put in, we'll finish restoration on Phase 1B and be done with that portion of the city east of 59th. So.
Mr. Mayor, is it your wish that we maybe get together in the coming days to talk about all the appropriations
Yeah,
and how
on-
they're
on
going
the
to
funding.
intertwine with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, the 2 million is clear. The 3 million we have to talk about, make sure we're incoming, and then ARPA money is the one we have to
Correct.
really discuss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay, yeah,
So
we'll
I'll
do
call you
that.
to schedule that
Yes,
with
please
Frank.
do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item 9, committee reports.
Any committee reports? I'll just report at this moment. I just came back from Tallahassee a few hours ago. We are in the budget again this year for $1.5 million. When I was there, I met with our senator, our representative, and members of the executive office of the governor, and we're working to make sure that we survive the governor's pen. But all things look positive, and if all things go well, it'll be another very successful year in Tallahassee for us. The last couple of years have been pretty good for us, so we're working towards that, and I'll continue working with our lobbying team and our representatives and our senators to make sure that we show the governor's office everything they need to see to make sure that doesn't get vetoed. But with that, we also have our appropriation request in the federal government as an earmark from Maria Elvira Salazar's office, Congresswoman Salazar's office. That appropriation is for $2 million, and it's working its way through committees. So we'll have further updates as we get them to see if we get through those processes in the federal government. So that is my report on appropriations. Next item.
Item 10, unfinished business, none this evening. Item 11, under new business agenda items. Item 11A, this is a first reading of an ordinance of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida, repealing ordinance 2022-07, which is attached herein as Exhibit A, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, providing for renumbering, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date.
Do we have a motion?
Motion. Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Suarez. Please call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Blanca, how do you vote? Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes, and the second reading of this ordinance will be presented at the May 17th commission meeting at 7:30 p.m.
Okay. Next item.
Yes, next item, item 11B. This is a request for
I'm sorry,
resolution.
read B and C both.
Okay, Mr. Mayor. Item 11B, request for resolution authorizing additional services in the contract between the City of West Miami and EcoStrata Services to compensate them for the work in connection with the grant between the City of West Miami and EPA in the amount of $3 million for the continuation of the potable water improvement project. Said fees to be paid from the EPA grant, instructing the Office of the City Manager to fund the additional amount for a period of 3 years commencing June 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2025, in amounts of $10,500 per year to be added to the payment to EcoStrata by City Manager. And item C, A resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami amending resolution 2021-47, reference to certain grant writing services with EcoStrata Service, Inc., as better described in the attached Exhibit A, resolution 2021-47, and professional services agreement dated October 1st, 2021, by expanding EcoStrata's scope of services as better described in the attached Exhibit B, by amending service compensation to the amount of $2,875 per month to a period of 3 years commencing October 1st, 2023. Funding shall be borne from account number blank, I don't have the account number.
The expenses to be paid by here, we recommend that we allocate that from the grant proceeds.
Grant proceeds, providing for an effective date of October 1st, 2023, providing for effective date, which is, this is redundant, so we'll just eliminate the last part. Providing for effective date, October 1st, 2023.
Now read it backwards. No. All right.
I'll read it.
Who has something on this?
Mr. Mayor, if I may, on March 31st, 2023, after numerous conversations and back and forth with EPA on visiting their portal, Robert did some of the preliminary work already to get us in the system so that we are on top of our grant, the $3 million grant that you successfully obtained for the city of West Miami. We believe that EcoStrata, as he believes, is probably the firm that knows the city, that knows our project very well, that can hit the ground running, as he's put very clearly in his letter on the grant. There is a transition process in place, and I was reminded by a member of the city commission on Monday that I had 29 days to go before I left and that we had a new city manager. However, grants don't wait 29 days until a city manager goes and a new one comes in. The process continues. And I believe that Mr. Silva, as qualified as I know he is, will probably need a little bit of time to get acquainted with all the grants and the projects that we have. And I think that Robert has a leverage over the project because of his knowledge of the portal, which is extremely complex. And I believe that we would be in excellent shape if we allow him to continue the work involved with the grant so that we can start drawing down money from the $3 million allocation as quickly as possible so we can move into the phases as reported by Frank Alonso. So we want to make sure that the design process and the construction and everything that is involved with the continuation of the project intertwines with whatever we're doing now, and that there's a sequence and that the money is used wisely and expeditiously. And I feel that if we do that on this end, that we will be in a better position to continue applying for these grants.
Mayor, when she finishes, I want to elaborate something here.
Are you finished?
I'm done, yes. And so we recommend that you approve
Okay, now-
this
Ma-
proposal.
Okay, what I want to clarify is this. This is EPA money is what the Maria Elvira is getting, right? The
Correct.
3 millions.
Yes.
Okay, now,
No, this is the 3 million already in the pipeline.
Well, yeah, this is the ones that were already appropriated to us.
Right, that was the appropriation for last year.
yeah, but
Yeah,
my,
but it was from Maria Elvira. It was just from last year.
but my point is this. Some of these expenses I pay for the grants itself,
Yes,
right?
yes, sir.
So, B or C, the proposal you put in C is what you propose that this money be paid by the grant itself.
Yes,
Okay, now, the proposal in B is paid for the,
B is a request, requesting that you authorize additional services between the city of
All right,
West
all right.
Miami and the contract between the
Okay, but
city and
that money,
Ecoestrada.
that money, additional services, in B, is paid by the general fund, I mean, from the money we have allocated for that.
Yes, the
Okay.
additional services would be covered by the federal government, the EPA grant.
Okay, that's it will be B,
That is the request made under item number B.
B, okay. No, but well, I'm talking about the C, the money to pay in the C will be produced by the grant itself.
Yes.
Okay, wait. Now,
For additional services.
I see this, and if I am wrong, you clarify for me anything. Looks to me that this is like a construction loan, that we are going to, when you make a construction loan in the bank, you are constructed, and you are telling the bank, you are providing the paperwork, the expenses you have, and the money you need for the next stay. I mean, it's something that we have to produce paperwork with the construction that we will do, right? So in this case, what I see here is that the proposal that you present here is that all this money to do all this work have a paperwork together with the work. I mean, and this is, remember that this is money that comes for the bureaucracy. This money comes from the federal government or from the EPA, whatever is money, is public money. So these monies are attached to the bureaucracy that always have the paperwork fluid.
The reporting requirements.
We have to do like we do with the Alliance. We have to do a lot of paperwork with the money that we are going to spend and spending and the planning to spend. So the money you present here to spend is because they request, if we don't present the clear paperwork for the work that we pretend to do, no money. We have to qualify with the presentation of the money, the paperwork in order to get the money to spend, right?
Yes, we need to justify the work
And-
that's being
all
done
right.
by the city to be able to draw down the
Yeah,
money.
and
Yes.
in this case, part of this money comes from the grant itself.
Yes, sir. The additional services.
Yeah, well, additional services, the work that somebody have to do.
Correct.
In this case, we have this gentleman that has been here for years,
Yes.
and he's very respected in town, and very serious and very decent, and have to do, somebody have to do it. If we don't do the paperwork, we don't get the money from the government.
Correct.
That's my clarification I want to do before, working this. That's what I clarified this. That we need to have paperwork done anyway.
Thank you. To be clear, in layman's terms, what I think Commissioner Suarez has been trying to say that this money comes from a grant and it comes from another entity and it's been given to us. But nonetheless, that money is in the city of West Miami's pocket.
It's for the work.
And this is taking the money from the city of West Miami's pocket and is putting it in someone else's pocket. That's basically what
What do you mean somebody else is
Yeah.
a worker?
it's being appropriated. Instead of us using it, it's going into someone else's pocket, Ecostrada. So I was the member that brought up to the city manager my issue, my concern with addressing this now at this time. I told her that, she has 20-something days left on her watch. And we all affirmed and supported this table not long ago, an incoming city manager. Okay, so I find it highly inappropriate to do this at this time. I think we should postpone this, table it, wait for the new city manager to come in and evaluate this contract, 3-year contract. That's almost like a slap in the face to the incoming city manager, basically.
Well, but be
So-
clear, be
so-
clear,
so
you don't
it-
want
it-
to do, let me.
it is my-
Wait, but we have
it-
to clarify this. I presented that you wait for the new manager, you don't want this to be discussed by us? You
We're
prefer
discussing
be-
it.
You, we prefer be discussed with the new manager, that's what you present.
Yes,
That's your position.
Yes.
Okay, that's your position. Anyway, if it's not him, somebody have to do the paperwork.
Oh, absolutely.
So your position is wait for the city manager, if he ratify this gentleman, or if he bring another people.
You know what? Quite frankly, he might have a better deal with the next incoming city manager. We don't
Now,
know that. That's a
Mayor, I want to-
possibility.
I want to clarify with Mr. Ruano. If we defer this for a month, we are in the risk of delay the procedure of this the grant. You're looking, you was part of this grant. You think if we delay it for one more month for the new manager?
We
is that-
already have this grant.
Wait, Mr. Chavez,
We-
listen to me.
We already have this grant.
Listen to me. My question is, are we it's a risk, wait 29 more days? Because the new manager may be delayed, that's delayed. It's a problem for us to get the money and to do that? That's what we have to think,
That's not a question for me.
because one manager or the other have to be done.
Okay, Commissioner Chavez, and then we'll get someone to answer that question. Go ahead.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Manager, we have the grant writing services under contract until October 1st?
We have for another 2 years. We have the option to renew his contract for another 2 years after September 30th. What we're talking about here tonight is additional services in connection with the EPA grant in the amount of $3 million. Mr. Ruano is proposing, because he's got to also add staff to take care of this because his business is growing, and he is proposing an amount of $875 a month for the duration of the grant, and we have spoken to our city engineer, and we believe that this project, before it's closed out, it's going to take 3 years. That's why we're talking about a 3-year amendment to the contract. And so that's what we're proposing, that we pay the $875 a month out of the grant proceeds.
Is it 875 or 2,875?
No, the $2,000 is his retainer. That's what we pay him on a monthly basis.
So 875
And that is
additional.
charged to your general fund. The $875 will come from the proceeds of the grant. And of course, in the new budget, the new city manager will have to fund the $10,500 that's an expense or an addition to his contract, and we need to show the money coming in from the grant to offset the $875 for the additional services.
Now, let's get Commissioner Suarez's question answered. Who wants to answer Commissioner Suarez's question?
What is the question? Maybe I can answer.
The question was regarding the 30-day window being determinative.
Sure. So first of all, congratulations. $3 million is a lot of money to get, and it seemed like you're going to get money coming forward. So as you probably know, congressional mandated dollars were cut off for a very long time. They came back. So when you say we have the money, kind of yes and no. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you why. Because you were awarded the money, you made a list that you were going to get money, but there is a very long process and a kind of a new process because they're kind of not used to it. So there's a very long process, and as Yolanda knows, and I think Juan has been on some of the meetings, there's been since probably about November, there's been webinars that I've attended. We've attended
have
meetings
attended.
together. We've had guidelines that we've dealt with a city attorney to change your policies and procedures because your policies and procedures weren't up to date. And this is just trying to get a contract in place so that then you can start the work to get the money. So there's already been a lot of work done, and we discussed it, and I said, okay, well, we actually talked about it, starting it earlier, and she said, wait and start it, and then we've waited. And now we're in the position to, yes, there is a new city manager coming in. I will tell you that I have worked with Mr. Silva before. My company several years ago was able to get their city over $1 million for different projects. We didn't continue only because they have a full-time person inside, and we were just brought in to bring them some grant dollars. But I don't think there's going to be any issue working with him. I will tell you also that, yes, it is a 3-year contract, just so that we can get on board and start really officially kind of doing this work. But as you all know, if the new manager comes in and wants to rescind that contract, and the commission is the commission's will, they can do that. Or if they want to bring it back and say, you know what, we want to award the grant management to someone else, they can do that too. And I'll tell you from my perspective, what I've done, and we've been talking about this, like I said, so we've been talking about this 4 months. And as Yolanda said, my company we're growing. We're working with a lot of clients. I have several folks on that work with me. For this particular grant, I have a PhD chemist that I have in mind for this, that will be contracted through my company to work on this, because it is a very special kind of
Specialized.
grant, and we will be working with the team. I'll tell you one other thing that I will tell you, Vice Mayor Blanes. We've been working a long time with your staff, with the staff that's here. You're going to be missing your city manager. You're going to be missing your longtime CFO. I think Yolanda is doing it, and I think the right thing. It's your choice if you want to wait or get somebody else. But I don't think anybody else here in the city has the kind of the capacity and the experience working with the team that we've already hit the ground running. We can get everything in place, and we can make sure that you can get reimbursed on a timely basis. So,
Robert.
yes, sir.
I don't have an issue with you or your company. You do a great job. This is a matter of courtesy. This is
Yeah.
a matter of deferring something. We all sat here, and we affirm our support, and we lauded Mr. Silva. And, it's going to be 20-something days.
Vice Mayor,
20-something days, I'm not ready to vote on this. It can wait 20-something days. And you know what? He might have better ideas. You might even come up with a better deal for you. You know what? But I believe we need to wait.
yeah.
Okay?
Vice Mayor, that obviously that's your prerogative. I would tell you that from what I've seen of your agendas in the last month or so, and the agendas coming up, you're not waiting to do business until the new manager comes in. Business continues. You have to continue doing things. You have to continue doing things like the long term, like the EAR amendments, that you continue, and you're not putting off waiting on the manager. So while I agree with you on that, yeah, you could wait, but
Exactly.
you could wait. You could wait on a lot of things, and then business wouldn't get done.
Well, there's certain things that we can't wait, like this EAR amendment issue. We don't wait on that because it needs to be done. But
Well,
on
this has to be
matter-
done too. There's a
No,
lot of work that
but-
has to be done on this
but-
grant right now.
But on this matter, well, you know what? I believe it can wait.
Yeah.
Well,
That's fine.
look, I don't want this to get into some personal back and forth,
It's not-
especially,
it's
especially,
not- it's not
especially
personal.
especially considering that, the vice mayor is not, and I think we're all in agreement that, we enjoy the work you've done for us, so it's not, I don't think there's anything in terms
No,
of
I
the work
don't-
product
yeah.
that the vice mayor's alluding to. What he's talking about is a policy matter that he feels very strongly about, obviously. The question is, and look, I'm not somebody who likes to delay either. I think I've made that apparent a number of times. But the question is, going back to Commissioner Suarez's question, is the 20 whatever days, is it determinative? Is it determinative in the outcome of the compliance of the grant?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what the city would be doing in that time frame. Is the city going to be
I would, if I may.
taking on all the
we're-
responsibility?
all the pre-application process that we're doing, the pre-contract work that we're doing, is so we can get ahead of the game and start drawing down advances. Because the grant does work on a reimbursement basis, but we have talked about getting an advance so that we don't have to dish out reserves from the city and at some point fall in a position where we're not comfortable with cash reserves. There's all kinds of trainings involved here. There's all kinds of policies that we have had to hurry up and produce for them. And it continues. I mean, there are emails, and we can show those to you.
Yeah, okay,
from-
but I'm sorry.
So will it inhibit us from getting the grant? I don't believe so. But if you feel that it's best to defer, go ahead and defer. It doesn't, I mean,
Look, it's
my
not-
work
it's not a-
stops on May 29th.
Yeah,
That's
but-
where,
yeah,
you know,
well, you-
Mr.
you-
Silva comes in and he continues it. And of course, I work at the pleasure of the commission. Whatever you decide is fine.
You're obviously going to continue working on this and a number of projects with us. This is not a very large contract.
No.
But at the same time, I have a member of the commission that has a great
not-
policy perspective. So what I'm asking is, is there, and I don't think I've heard some things about drawing down advances and things of that nature, and that's fine, but I don't think that the advance work in the 20 days is going to kill us from from taking the reserves and all that stuff. It's just not. So, yes, we're doing city business. Are we assigning contracts? Not really. We're not really doing that. So, look, I mean, anyone can make a motion either way right now. I know Mr. Chavez wanted to say something. This is, again, this should not be the lightning rod issue on the agenda. So, I go ahead.
Mr. Rono, you mentioned that you guys had been waiting on this item. How long has that wait been out?
Well, since about January, we talked about it, December or January.
So
And
4
that's
or
when we
5
started working because we expected this contract to happen.
So 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
So why
So
wasn't it done
waiting,
sooner?
so then waiting another 30 days in addition to that 4 or 5 months wouldn't be that far-fetched then? Because I see
If that's,
his point a little bit as well.
if that's what the commission does afterwards, but, if that's what you want to do.
Right. In trying to get Commissioner Suarez's question answered and seeing his point a little bit as well.
Well,
This
well,
is-
let me ask you a question. The new manager comes in what date?
May 30th,
Correct.
And when is your first commission meeting that this could be put on?
June 3rd.
June 3rd? Okay. Well, in that period,
June,
I
I'm
assume
sorry,
the city
May
could,
May
Uh,
31st.
June 7th.
June 7th,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I guess at that period, I guess if Yolanda's still here and the city can continue doing the things,
No, I don't believe, and I want to make it really clear, I don't believe we're at a point that we're risking anything on the grant. Our position is the work continues, and on May 29th, whatever progress we've made on the work, we hand that over to the new city manager. That would be our position, but if you all feel more comfortable in waiting, I don't mind.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Look, Robert, this is not personal.
No, I know.
You know,
Oh,
this
we've
is-
known each other for almost 20 years.
Exactly.
We've worked
This is-
together a lot.
And this is not about.
I understand.
And this is not about, the amount of money, and this is not about the amount of time. It is about having the courtesy of having the new incoming city manager decide on this, okay? Because you're gonna be deciding everything within 20-something days.
Right.
Okay, you said that this whole thing started in January. Okay, so it's been like what, 4 or 5 months. Why wasn't this done sooner? Now, if you're telling me, oh yeah, he's gonna come in 2 months, in 3 months, okay, all right, I you know what? I will be the first one to say, yeah, we need to do this. But 20 days? As I stated before, you know what? I want to have a good working relationship with this city manager. So I do not want to decide on this. I want to defer it to him, for him to decide. That's all, that's it. That's all there is to it. That's my position.
All right. Does anyone have any? Listen, I look, I can go either way on this. Again, the contract is what it is. It's not, the work has to get done. But the vice mayor, I understand the vice mayor's point. I think there's a strong feeling that I don't think it's determinative from what I've heard. So, and I hate to have me come back again. I know it's not a very large drive for you because I know you could probably bike here on your, but
It was a 4-minute,
and you
5-minute drive.
you probably enjoy biking here. It's nice and sunny outside still at 7:30. But just someone make a motion either way to on deferral or approval. I mean, just
Motion to defer this until the incoming city manager comes in. So it
Well,
will,
but let's do it differently. If you're gonna make that motion, let's do it on an indefinite. That way we can be put back on the agenda if needed right away.
okay, motion to
and not
defer this
be from
indefinitely.
some. Yeah, okay. So we have that's where items B and C. Well, item C, because B is a request for resolution, is already a resolution, right?
Yeah, item
correct?
C,
So item C.
yeah.
I mean,
Defer indefinitely.
is there a second to Vice Mayor Lana's motion?
Being that this isn't gonna damage any of our chances with this grant, and we've been waiting 4 or 5 months already, I see how strongly he feels about it. I'll second that as well.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's a split commission on a contract of this magnitude, and, I mean, call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Blanca, how do you vote? Commissioner Suarez?
Well, I try to make happy Commissioner Blanes, that even or not, this looks personal, Commissioner. I will vote for you, make you happy. But this is a personal matter for you. Really, that's what looks. I vote yes.
But just to clarify,
I'm sorry, I like you,
This,
but I
this,
vote
this
yes
is,
for
this
you.
is a matter of principle.
Well, that's your point.
Prin-
but not personal against.
We're in the middle of a roll
No,
call.
no,
Not
We're in the middle.
personal against anybody.
Right.
Commissioner, please, we're in the middle of a roll call.
I vote for you to make you
Okay.
happy, okay? You want to make happy new manager, we vote for you.
Commissioner Suarez voted yes. Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes,
5-0, item passes.
No,
Mayor?
This is,
go ahead.
Commissioner Suarez, this is a matter of principle.
If I can
It is
say,
not
know
about
you
being
for
happy
years,
or
but
sad,
it's,
it's a
this
matter of
doesn't
principle.
look good.
And
If I
it's
can-
not- And it's not personal.
no, it's not.
Looks like.
If I can say just one thing, and I want to congratulate Mr.
Ronald,
Vice Mayor Malanes.
Forget it.
Please.
No, I just want to say one thing. I want to
Please.
congratulate him. He said that when I come back, I can have a different
please.
amount.
You never
So I appreciate
know.
that.
I mean, you never know.
Thank you,
There
sir.
might be more insight, you know. I don't know.
It gets more expensive next month.
It better not. All right,
I'll get one.
See, now you come back and say, oh, wait a minute, I forgot how to do this.
next item.
Item 11D, report by the Office of the City Manager and Park Director in reference to park fee comparison study and proposed fee schedule for the 2023 summer camp for residents/non-residents by City Manager and Recreation Director.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Commission. On April 26, I issued a memorandum based on the conversation that we had at the Recreation Advisory Board meeting held on April 19th, and then as instructed by the Mayor and City Commission, the Recreation Center Director and staff conducted a survey of other cities pertaining to summer camp fees. And basically, what the memo did was to provide you the background. The city of West Miami collects a one-time registration fee, and we collect an amount of money every week for from city residents for their children to attend summer camp, and a different fee for non-residents for children to attend camp. Why this camp has become very popular is because we allow non-residents but children who do attend Sylvania Heights Elementary and the Somerset schools. So we bring to you this evening an opportunity to revise our rates before we go out and publish our new flyer for the 2023 summer camp. As you know, the Recreation Center is probably going to need to budget additional monies for next year, which the new manager will have to look at when he comes in, so that we can fund the operations of the wellness center and everything that comes with increasing amenities. This being said, our current fee for non-residents is $90 a week. We do have a voucher program that comes from District 6, which we've received already communication from District 6 on the voucher program. And our numbers are growing in each and every year. We have over 300 enrollments as of last year, which was our first year after COVID, second year after COVID. And I believe that the rates need to be consistent with what other recreation centers are doing. For example, Miami Springs Recreation Center, they only allow children that are, whose parents live in the city of Miami Springs. They don't allow non-residents. Why? Because this expenses increases. We have staff, we gotta pay salary, benefits, we have to pay buses to go to field trips. And so the supervision of the kids becomes an expensive proposition. So we gave you, to the best of our ability, after a couple of meetings with John Michael and his staff, we're giving you a proposal to increase some of our rates, our registration fees, which include the T-shirts for the kids, for residents, and then an increase, which is a larger increase for non-residents of the city of West Miami. And as well, we're asking you to consider your resident rate for summer camp and your non-resident rate for summer camp. I think it's as modest as we can possibly offer, and it's entirely up to the commission to decide how they would like for us to publish this coming year, this coming 2023 summer camp.
So I actually, in a weird situation, some parents actually talked to me about raising the rates in the last couple of years.
Yes.
But two things that I want to flag that I would like to be included in the structure, however we do this. One, you alluded to the vouchers from District 6 Commissioner Kevin Cabrera.
Yes.
If in conversations with them, I'd like to. They usually set aside a certain amount of money from their budget for the vouchers. I wouldn't want to see that lead to a less amount of impact on the amount of kids. So I'd like to have a carve out on the rate increase for the Commissioner Cabrera's office.
Okay.
To make sure that the money they're putting forward is servicing the same number of kids as past years, without them having to augment their budget. So I would like to see that carve out. And then additionally, not related to the rate, but related to taking the money, one of the biggest complaints I got last year from the summer camp was not necessarily from the service of the summer camp, it was just on how to pay for it. Because my understanding is that we only accept paper checks. Is that correct?
No, we have a point of service machine. We've had it for years at the park.
Oh, sorry. We don't allow online payment for the summer camp, correct? That they have to
No.
get down from the car.
Yes, and we actually stay away from checks because
Right. The checks. I'm
the checks are a problem sometimes.
Yeah. So, number one is the carve out, which I think is very important. I don't think anyone would disagree on that for the Commissioner Cabrera's office. Number two is, implementation of the online pay for the summer camp. That was a constant complaint I got, and again, it has nothing to do with the service of our volunteers and rec employees. That all the parents were in love with the service and the camp. It was that annoying piece in modern society that.
The payment,
Yeah.
I agree with the mayor, that was a
Right.
big problem.
So, with those two things, if we can see how we can start looking at implementing that,
Yes.
for the summer camp,
Yes,
and then the carve out, if we could, because this resolution refers to the fees, if we can
Right.
amend.
and if you want, it's highlighted in the memo, but I'll highlight it for the record. For resident registration fees, we're asking you to consider increasing from $25 to $35 for one child and $15 for each additional child to include their 3 issued City of West Miami T-shirts. So that's really $10.
Yeah. So what I just want to see is, I'm going to ask that it be amended to the resolution to have no rate increase for the Commissioner Cabrera vouchers that he's going to purchase, just so it doesn't, we don't lower the amount of kids that they can service. So,
Right.
Whatever rate they were getting before,
Right, to
preserve
preserve those.
that rate exclusively for Commissioner Cabrera's office for vouchers
Right.
from the office.
Generally, just to give you a number, what we do is we have a placeholder of 30 kids for the voucher program. Is that generally, John, could you speak to that?
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Commission. Last year was 40,
40 vouchers.
but it's
Okay.
varied. Some years it's 20, some years it's
Right.
40.
Whatever it is, whatever money they might look at, I just don't want it to be, you know, let's say they allocate a little bit more money, I don't want to service less kids.
Right.
So,
Right.
let's, you know, I would ask that whoever moves this resolution that we're about to read, unless anyone has any questions on the rate, that they include that in an amendment.
Right, and so that would be the registration fee, and then for non-residents, we would ask you to approve an increase from $65 to $85, which is a $20 increase for the first child, and $35 for each additional child, and again, that includes the issued T-shirts for summer camp. That's resident and non-residents, and then the weekly fee, we're asking you to consider increasing a resident rate that would go from $30 per week per child, and the sibling rate would go to $60 per week for the first and second child, and so on. We are recommending that you increase the summer camp rate for the per child, $40 per week for the first child, and then in the case of sibling, each child pays an additional $40 per week.
Okay, does anyone
And-
have, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, and then the non-resident rate, we're asking you to approve a recommendation to increase from $90 per week per child to $100 per week per child, and then the sibling rate would be $176 per week for the first and second child, and $220 per week for first, second, and third child. A fourth child is charged a fee of $20 per week, which is generally not going to be the case. We don't have families with 4 children that all attend summer camp. I mean, those are few and far apart.
What's the rate for child 5? Does anyone have any?
Should be free.
Yeah, but you put the 5th child, you get it free.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on, or concerns on
And
the rates?
if you look at the survey, the limited survey, because there's a lot of cities that don't offer summer camp, the one thing we offer is a 10-week program that I can tell you no other camp offers this.
Yeah.
And an array of field trips. The care is second to none. And we thank John Michael and his staff for that and for taking such good care of the kids. I think parents have grown to really love what we have to offer for their children.
Would you like to say anything, or on in respect to the rates, or?
I agree with her.
Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't think you were gonna agree, but go ahead.
No, I want to say thank you also, because last commission meeting, we asked you to come back with this information, and,
Yeah, of course.
you know, thank you for the presentation, and thank you for wearing a jacket, too. You look nice.
So,
You didn't have to do that for us.
let's read the resolution and then we'll discuss.
Just for clarification, Madam Manager, for non-residents, the recommended increase is $110 or $100 per week?
It is it goes from
$90?
$90 per week per child to $110 per week per child. And then the sibling rate goes for the first and second child to $144 per week.
I wanted to make sure.
From
because-
$144 per week to $176 per week.
Okay. duly
And
noted.
those are the more common scenarios that we have,
Okay.
first and second child.
All right, read the resolution.
Yes, item E, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami authorizing the city manager to establish the 2023 summer camp fees for residents / non-residents and city employees whose children attend summer camp program offered by the city of West Miami, providing for effective date.
I'll make a motion as amended to include the carve-out for Commissioner Cabrera's voucher program.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Suarez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca? Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. With this information, Mr. Mayor, we will finalize the flyer, and it should be up on the website by the end of the week. So we'll work on this tomorrow. Registration starts next week.
Yep, next item.
Item F, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami authorizing Jose Villalobos, Ackerman LLP, to represent the City of West Miami in that certain petition for administrative hearing filed by Arcadio Reyes and Maria Elena Asan Reyes, case number 2023-0018-AP01, representation to include defense and/or negotiation in said appellate case, providing for effective date.
Mr. Mayor, this item was already approved by the commission. It's only to formalize the approval that was previously made last, whenever the writ of certiorari was filed.
Okay.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Blanca, how do you vote? Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Pocket item.
Yes,
Yeah.
this now is the item of, that was added to the agenda, the resolution. Let me read the resolution, the heading. Resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida, accepting the recommendation by the local planning agency to amend or to, Madam Manager and Mr. Attorney, it was for the evaluation and
Appraisal
appraisal review of
report.
the City of West Miami's comprehensive plan.
And the
providing-
property rights element.
and providing for the enactment of the property rights element with goals, objectives, and policies, providing for legislative findings and intent, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. So it's the resolution with amendments.
Make a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Suarez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca? Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item G, 11G, is discussion in reference to 4th of July 2023 by City Manager.
Thank you. It's that time of year, Mr. Mayor. As you know, we recently sent out donation letters to our yearly sponsors. We haven't really been very successful. We were able to receive some donations for the Easter egg hunt, and we help offset some of the costs. But at this point, we need to really decide whether you all want to pursue your 4th of July festivities as, so that if it's approved, the new manager can, come in and do his thing and help prepare for the next 4th of July. But the main thing is we need to secure fireworks, and that, I think we should not wait on that.
Now let's move forward. Does anyone have anything else? Because I think we have to.
Just a question.
Yeah.
Has there been any further consideration of the location?
You want to approach the podium? Anybody?
Juan, can you address the issue of the location on the fireworks? And what is acceptable to the fire department?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. It's getting tougher every year to do fireworks. Fire department standards are getting stricter. You also got to consider that the rec center is not there as it was before. The terrace is gone. All you have is the basketball court area. So it's a very tight fit if we're going to do it at the rec center. And then if you move it to Cooper Park, then you have the thing with the fireworks. So logistics is.
All right, firemen, figure it out. What do you guys got?
Well, so with the rec center, currently under construction, could we even do it at the rec center?
It'll be a tight fit.
So then the only other option is Cooper, and if we're not allowed to do fireworks, are there alternatives such as, there's a move to drones now? I know this is not 4th of July, fireworks are 4th of July, but if we have no other option, maybe we look at a drone show, possibly?
We would have to inquire with the company that we deal with.
Go ahead, Vice
Got
Mayor.
an idea. I mean, I know there's always the issue with liability, but maybe we can approach Publix and shoot the fireworks from their second-story parking lot,
Third story.
third story.
That would be up to the manager and the new manager to
So wait,
decide.
what was the firework issue with Cooper? I know obviously Publix is a private
Distance.
entity. So the distance is the issue with,
We need, from the firing line to the folks that are there, you need 275 feet.
So the only option would be if Publix allowed us. Has there been any discussion with Publix?
Doesn't hurt to ask. I mean, we can approach them and tell
right, it's
them.
unlikely, but obviously I think it's worth
Can-
the ask.
May I ask something?
yeah.
We have that 57th court there,
Yeah, but you
between
have
the
the
park
trees.
and, but we would have to go very high with the fireworks
The
to,
trees are.
the trees are in the way.
Yeah.
57th,
Not
oh,
only that, when you go up with fireworks, you go out with fallout.
With the fallout.
right, it would have to be like, Sylvania or something like that, but that's also unlikely.
So do we have to consider the possibility that we won't have a location to shoot fireworks?
Well, we technically do have a location in the rec, right? You're saying it's a tight fit. We technically can do, I mean, well, the only thing is the construction, right? Would we be able to wall off the construction to prevent any danger for the residents, or?
No, there's no danger. The problem is that the area that we use for watermelon and stuff is not there anymore.
Right. But if we didn't do the watermelons, we would have technically the same amount of space, give or take.
Correct.
So,
If you do food trucks and put them on the street,
yeah.
they're just the logistics of securing the location.
And okay, so I think.
It's the only option.
Mr.
Yeah,
Mayor?
yeah, go ahead.
If I may, let me update you on a request that was made last year to Publix.
I remember, for public
Yes,
state, yeah,
they
they
said
don't love it.
absolutely
They don't love
not.
the
Their
idea.
insurance company would not allow them for us to.
Well, let's just say they don't love the idea, because you can always revisit, but they don't love the idea.
All right, I just wanted to report what I was
I
made
remember
aware
the
of.
police department having that conversation. So I think we have to move forward July 4th. I think fireworks, I think we have a location. I think we're gonna have it somewhere. We have the ability to do it at the rec. We don't have the area for the watermelon. Watermelons don't make an event, so, I think we move forward with the theory being the rec right now. We move forward with, acquiring the fireworks and doing all that stuff that needs to be in lead up for that event. And I think that's gonna work out.
And food trucks, right?
And food trucks as well. But the biggest thing for right now to lead up is the fireworks, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so we can start on that. Does anybody have any disagree with that on anything? Okay.
We're not gonna have any rides or anything. There's no way to get them in there anyways.
Right, I mean, we can technically have whatever we've had before, right? Yeah.
There's no way to get them.
Oh, you
in
can't
with
get
the,
'em in.
The construction.
Oh, because of construction. Yeah. All right, we'll figure it out. We're gonna have fireworks. Don't worry, people. We will have fireworks. On this, go ahead.
Of course.
I am happy. I am happy.
Well, I'm very glad.
But
So.
you don't have to go to church with me on Sunday.
Oh, God. So the next item, please.
Yes, item 12, consent agenda items. You have one item on the agenda, on the consent agenda.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And item 13, good of the order.
Anyone for good of the order?
Happy Clerks Week.
Oh,
Thank
Yeah, happy,
you.
happy Clerks Week.
Happy Clerks Week.
Municipal Clerks Week.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you.
Adjourned.
When is it? This week?
Yeah.